Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We have a wonderful presentation today from New York City Department for the Aging. And we have, I'm sorry, the phone is ringing. And we have a wonderful presenter. We have Carlos Rosas, who is going to be our engineer today. Carlos, there he is. Thanks, Carlos. Okay. And do me a favor, if you have closed captioning, please put that on for your students. Please feel free to take pictures or take notes of the PowerPoint presentation. And you can place your questions in the chat box because at the end, we will do a question and answering and we're good to go. So we have our presenter today, Cyrillia Osagie. She is the engagement specialist for the New York City Department for the Aging. Welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Haska. Good morning. My name is Cyrillia Osagie again, and I'm with the New York City Department for the Aging. So we're just basically going to talk about the programs and services at the Department for the Aging for our senior population. In New York City, a senior is considered to be someone 60 years of age and older, although for some of our programs, I believe one or two of the programs, one would need to be 55 and older. But I hope you enjoy. Ready, Carlos? Carlos, may I have slide 1, please? Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so the mission and purpose of the New York City Department for the Aging is to eliminate ageism and ensure the dignity and quality of life of diverse older adults and for the support of their caregivers through services, advocacy, and education. The Department for the Aging partners with local organizations to provide services through older adult centers, naturally occurring retirement communities, case management and home care agencies, home delivered meals programs, caregiver support programs, mental health programs, transportation, and much more in each borough. Department for the Aging also provides volunteer opportunities and has a senior employment services unit, elder justice unit, grandparent resource center, foster grandparent program, and more. Next slide, please. So the older adult centers, there are hundreds of older adult centers in New York City. Membership is free and open to anyone age 60 or older. Each center offers a variety of activities that in general includes art, music, dance, and fitness classes and walking clubs. There are classes to manage arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, and more. They also offer nutrition and educational workshops. There are screenings for Medicare, Medicaid, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as food stamps, and rent freeze, or SCREE, which stands for Senior Citizen Rent Increase Exemption. There are also meals and holiday celebrations, as well as technology classes. Next slide, please. In-home support. If you have a hard time leaving your home, or if you know anyone who has a hard time leaving their home or managing daily tasks, help may be a phone call away. Through case management, a trained specialist will determine services to help one remain safely at home. Those programs may include home delivered meals or Meals on Wheels and or home care, in-home counseling and access to community resources, friendly visiting, help managing bill paying tasks. Next slide, please. Can everyone hear me? Next slide, please. DIFTA's Geriatric Mental Health Program is a Thrive NYC initiative which places mental health clinicians in older adult centers. Clinicians help older adults with challenging life situations that may cause anxiety or depression and provide private counseling and referrals. The Friendly Visiting Program, which is also a Thrive NYC initiative, matches screened and trained volunteers with homebound older adults for weekly visits. The program helps older adults expand their social circle and share wisdom with new friends. Next slide, please. The Caregiver Support. Caring for someone can be stressful, so anyone that's a caregiver of an older New Yorker can get support through the Department for the Aging. We're recognizing that you as our caregiver is the first step in getting help. Through the Caregiver Support Program, social workers offer information, referrals, respite, counseling on long-term care options, and more. Respite is really when if someone who's caring for an older adult maybe needs a few hours for themselves, possibly to go to the store, take a nap, or just maybe a weekend away. So that can be offered through the Caregiver Support Program. You can get help if you are caring for someone age 60 and older with Alzheimer's disease or other dementias or a chronic illness. You can also get help if you are age 55 or older and caring for a relative child or a disabled adult. New York Connects is also a statewide service that helps people of all ages find the right support to fit long-term needs. Community partners provide information referrals to older adults and young adults with long-term disabilities, their caregivers, parents of children with disabilities, and professionals. Next slide, please. We also offer the Health Insurance Information Counseling and Assistance Program. If you have any questions about Medicare, then HICAP, or Health Insurance Information Counseling and Assistance Program, is New York City's source for reliable information about Medicare Parts A, B, C, and D. Trained counselors also assist with Medicare's supplemental insurance, or Medigap, Medicare Advantage, and they assist with applying for the Extra Help program to cover expenses. That program is called Medicare Savings Program. If you have, because each person would have to pay a portion of the Social Security is taken from their check to cover them for Part B, the Part B premium. So that can sometimes be expensive for some people. So Medicaid would then pay for that portion. So that program, the Health Insurance Information Counseling Program, can help someone apply for that. We also have the NORC, which is Naturally Occurring Retirement Communities. A NORC, or a Naturally Occurring Retirement Community, is a multi-age housing development or neighborhood that wasn't originally built for older adults, but is now home to a significant number of them. Supportive services and programs are available at dozens of NORCs, providing residents with health and wellness activities, help with benefits and entitlements, and more. Next slide, please. We also have the Grandparent Resource Center. If you are an older adult with a primary caregiver responsibilities where you're caring for your grandchild or another young relative, the Grandparent Resource Center can help you adjust to your role as a kinship caregiver. Grandparent Resource Center services include workshops on legal, budgeting, and other topics. Referrals, peer group sessions, and other services are also available through the Grandparent Resource Center. The Foster Grandparent Program, that is one of the programs which I mentioned where one can be 55. That program places low-income adults in community settings where they mentor and care for infants and children with special needs. They receive a small stipend. Those community settings can be schools, hospitals, or in some cases, the courthouse, where there are children waiting for parents to come out of court. So those are places where the foster grandparent program would be a good volunteer opportunity for someone 55 and older. Next slide, please. Senior Employment Services. The Senior Employment Unit prepares unemployed, low-income adults age 55 and older for today's jobs and data processing, customer service, security, sales, administration, home health care, and more. Participants attend computer job search, resume writing, and interviewing classes. Job seekers also get on-the-job training and the opportunity to earn at least the minimum wage. We also have the Elder Justice Unit, which works to protect older New Yorkers from crime and abuse. Elder abuse programs are available in each borough to provide counseling and support for victims who have suffered physical, emotional, or financial abuse from a trusted person. Legal support is available for older adults without access to other public or private legal aid. Providers assist with issues that involve public benefits, long-term care, consumer and landlord-tenant issues. The Assigned Counsel Project is for older adults at risk of being evicted. If you believe you qualify, ask the judge in charge of your case or visit the help center at the courthouse at the time of your hearing. Next slide, please. We also offer community-based transportation services for older adults without access to public transportation to get to medical or social service appointments. So if you know someone who needs a ride, maybe to visit a friend or to the grocery store or to see their doctor, you can always reach out to the Department for the Aging and we can give you the phone number of the provider for the transportation for that location. If you want to make a difference in the life of any New Yorker or you are an older adult who wants to give back, you can volunteer with DIFTA. Volunteers help in the community with the Elder Visiting Program, Foster Grandparent Program, and much more. Next slide, please. Thank you so much for listening. You can always reach out to the Department for the Aging by dialing 212-244-6469, where you can speak with any specialist, an aging specialist who can connect you with any issues that you may have regarding an older adult or yourself if you're an older adult as well. Do you have any questions? Does anyone have any questions for me? I hope I didn't go too fast. I hope.
Let me ask you a question. So, if someone is interested in some of your services, what is the process?
Well, for instance, if someone is 60, say 63 or 60 or 62, and they have recently come from the hospital and they've been, home, but they're noticing that they need help with maybe in-home, like cleaning, light duty cleaning, or maybe meal prep, grocery shopping, they can call Department for the Aging at 212-244-6469. And when they call the number, they'll say, I need a home attendant to come in. But those people calling us should not have Medicaid, because it's basically for people who are not eligible for Medicaid. If the person does not have Medicaid and they don't qualify for Medicaid, then the department will offer up to 20 hours of care per week. And when they call, they would need to provide their address and zip code, because each we have what are called case management agencies, and each case management is responsible for certain areas. So based on the address and zip, the caller will be given the phone number for the case management that provides the services to that address and zip. But if they have Medicaid, then we tell them to call their doctor and ask the doctor to complete an M as in Mary, the number 11Q, M11Q form. And then the doctor sends that over to Medicaid, and Medicaid will then do an assessment for home care.
Can you give that phone number again?
212-244-6469.
And what is that phone number to?
That's the Department for the Aging's Aging Connect line, which is basically the doorway to any aging-related services or program.
Okay. We do have a question. Could you explain about SCREE?
Okay, SCREE is a program which used to be run by the Department for the Aging, but it's been transferred to the Department of Finance. It's a program where not anyone, but people 62 years of age and older, if they're renting an apartment and the apartment is rent stabilized or rent controlled, they can apply for the program based on the fact that they're 62, their apartment is rent stabilized, rent controlled, and their annual household income currently, I believe, has to be $50,000 or less. And the rent that they pay must be a third or more of the monthly income. That program will then freeze the rent, which when I say freeze, the rent will continue to increase with each lease, but the rent that the tenant pays would remain at the most recent prior rent. The program will look at the two leases, the current lease as well as the most recent prior lease. So at the time that you apply, if your current lease is $600 and your most recent prior lease is $500, the program will then take you back to the most recent prior lease, which is $500. And instead of the landlord getting the cash from you, the city will then give the landlord a tax credit based on the difference between the most recent prior lease and the most recent current lease. So every time your lease expires, you would need to submit renewal documents as well as the newest lease showing that your lease is increased and you need to continue with the program.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
To use your services, is there an age? Is it 62 and above? What's the age?
Well, for the Department for the Aging, for New York City's purposes, a senior is considered to be someone 60 years of age and older. 60. But for different programs, for instance, with the SCREE, the age minimum is 62 to receive to be eligible for home delivered meals or home care. In addition to other little requirements, one must be 60 years of age and older.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Could you also explain about, and I don't know what the term is, when you are assisting someone, it's like it's your job, you're assisting a senior and you're getting paid. How does that work?
Okay, are you referring to where someone is like your son or daughter is caring for the older New Yorker?
Yes.
That to get paid, the person would need to have Medicaid in order for them to be paid through as a home attendant for their mom or dad. I'm not certain if the person does not have Medicaid, if there's another similar program. But I can, if you do happen to have someone who is in a situation where they don't have Medicaid, but they want their child to be paid for caring for them, we do have caregiver programs where if the individual needing the service can call the 244 number and we can refer them to that caregiver program and they should be able to help them with that. That's a good question that I should definitely, I will get back to you with the correct or proper answer for that.
All right, thank you. Here's a question.
Okay. Well, Mitchellama, yes, they do have their own scree program. So if someone were interested in that scree, they would need to call 311, and also for the other scree as well, call 311 and ask them for the Mitchellama scree program. And I believe it works the same way. I'm not sure if the income limits are the same, but it pretty much works the same way. It's just those for those Mitchellama developments.
Great. Okay, let's see. Any other questions? Any other questions? Come on, Miss Red. You always have good questions. Okay.
Also, you can also, if you have any, it's a good thing to just visit the Department for the Aging's website. That website is www.nyc.gov/aging. When you go there, you'll see the different services available. You can also get a listing of the older adult sites or the older adult centers. They were formerly called senior centers. So at the senior centers, someone 60 years of age and older can get lunch, they can get breakfast in some cases. They also get a chance to, prior COVID, they were given opportunities to go on trips, be it a show or a play or the museum, even sometimes to restaurants, and I believe even casinos. So, becoming a member of the older adult center, it's a good thing. You get to make new friends. You get to wake up and have some place to go other than, to the living room. But as far as reopening, the centers are fully reopened. Masking is still required, and you still get a chance to eat and chat with your friends. So
Do you need to show proof of vaccination?
at this point, no. This is a question that's been coming up a lot, but for now, no, they are not required. But the employees do need to be vaccinated. But for now, the members of the center, they are not required currently to show proof of vaccination.
I have a question. Are services limited to are undocumented seniors able to receive services?
In terms of home care, in terms of home delivered meals, there's no requirement for documentation. If they go to a senior center, there's no proof of requirement that they must be documented. So depending on the service, for instance, rent increase exemption, there's no, they would just basically need to show proof of age, proof of rent, proof of income. There's no, for most of our services, there's no documentation required. I would say yes, because this legal services it's free. So there's you don't need to prove income or proof of documentation. It's a free service. So yes, I would say yes.
And all your services are free, right?
Yes. If you go for lunch, there's a suggested contribution. There's no set amount that they say you must pay. It's a suggested contribution. For transportation, it's free. If you want to tip the driver, yes, you can tip, but it's a free service.
So let me ask you about transportation. Do you have to schedule the transportation in advance?
Yes, there is an application process, I believe. I'm not sure what the length of time it takes for each process to go through, but you do need to submit an application and you do need to let them know ahead of time, when your appointments are. Yes.
Okay, I don't see any other questions. Carlos?
I'm sorry, you mentioned transportation. Sorry, we're getting a terrible echo there. Is that through Accessoride or is that a different agency?
No, that's a different program. Accessoride is through the Metro MTA, and they also have an application process. And in order to ride once you're approved, you would need to schedule your rides ahead of time, and there is a fee, which would be the full, whatever the fee is for riding the train or the bus, which is $275. They would pay the full $275 as opposed to reduced fare, where if you are riding the bus or the regular buses or subway, you would pay half of the fare. But if you're going to ride the Accessoride, you would need to pay the full $2.75. And I can give you the number if you like for Accessoride.
That would be great. What's that number?
Just a moment. Just a moment. Let me look through it for you. Okay, that number for Accessoride is 877-337-2017.
Could you repeat that?
Sure. It's 877-337-2017.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And also, if you can, when you get a chance, you can go to our website. There are something occurred to me just now. I just slipped, but there's a benefit booklet, which some of the information, the income limits may have adjusted, but the information is still pertinent. So you will find information on the senior citizen rent increase exemption. You'll find information on the reduced fare card. You'll find information on food stamps. So when you're on the site, you can click on News, NEWS, and then on the left side, you'll see Publications. Click Publications. When you click Publications, you can scroll all the way down and you'll see what's called Benefit Guide for Older New Yorkers. So that will basically tell you the programs that someone 60 years of age and older can qualify for in New York City. It will also give you some of those benefits have age requirements. For instance, the rent increase exemption, one must be 62 and older. For the reduced fare card, you must be 65 years of age and older. Unless you have a qualifying disability, then you can be under 65. So if you're 35 and you have a disability which meets their qualifications, you can definitely get the reduced fare card as well. There's basically, in order for one to qualify through our office, the person must just be 60 years of age and older, and as long as they're going to a medical or social appointment, that's the only reason. As long as the person is 60 and older. So there's no specific reason, just 60 years of age and older. Are you planning to take
no ride to the airport?
Well, I mean, I would believe so. I would believe that, if they're going to the airport, you can call and find out. You can call the 244 number and we'll give you the phone number for transportation and they'll let you know, oh yeah, where are you going? You going to Florida? We'll take you. So yeah, that's okay.
Carlos. Doesn't hurt to try, right? Doesn't
Yes,
hurt to try.
yes.
Carlos is always thinking. So if any of you missed certain portions of this, feel free to catch the replay whenever you want. Just use that same link. You could show it to your class, or you can forward that to some of your students if they want to view it again. So I thank you. Thank you so much for the information. Thank you, Carlos, for your engineering talents
Thank
here.
you.
And
Thank you.
thank you for joining us today. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much for having us, and have a good rest of the day. Take good
All
care.
right. You as well. Everyone
Take
as
care.
well. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.